can feel it down in my plums. When I hear a sound, a rap at the door, my young son Gabriel walks in.
Welcome back to Let the Boys Watch, an entertainment podcast brought to you by Going Great Productions. On this week's episode, we continue Harry Potter-thon down to the last few. And this week we watched the 2009 fantasy epic Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry Potter was written by Steve Kloves and based on the novels by the same name by J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince was directed by David Yates. Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert, Grint, Emmett Watson, Michael Gambon, Maggie Smith, Tom Felton, Robbie Coltrane, Helena Bonham Carter, and Alan Rickman. Alongside me is the cuz Ben. How we feeling? How we doing?
Feeling great. I can't believe we're getting towards the end here. Only 2 movies left and 1 story to tell.
That's it. 8 weeks down the drain. 6, 7 weeks down the drain.
Never get him back.
Nope.
What a way.
Robbie's gonna hit himself with a confundus charm after he watches the last movie.
Oh my God. I was brewing up some potion yesterday to get me back to 7 weeks ago. It ain't happening. And alongside the cuz and myself, good friend, co-host Ryan, how we doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Like Ben said, I'm excited what you think about the story as a whole, but let's focus on Half-Blood Prince. So please, before we get into the movie itself, send us an email, ltbwpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what you think about Harry Potter, or whatever, any of our other episodes. You can catch all 100 and something of them on all your podcast platforms. You can listen to us on YouTube or watch us on YouTube, and Ben's going to tell you all about that.
Yeah, please follow us on YouTube. Breaking news after this, we are going to have a YouTube exclusive series, 15 more Harry Potter videos we're going to be doing that are going to be YouTube exclusive. No, please follow us on YouTube. We would love to see you there. Subscribe. It's not going to bombard you with anything. It's just when we release a new video, it'll pop up on your homepage, so you don't miss a thing. So follow us on YouTube. Let the boys watch.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram. All this stuff's down there. But yeah, it'd be nice. Put a comment in there. Appreciate the comments the last couple videos. Much. I think that's from the same person whom I love. So hello.
Hi.
Thank you.
But yeah, Half-Blood Prince. I said last week that it is my favorite movie. I'm maybe amending that statement. We'll see.
Ooh.
But if this is your first, foray with us, this is Robbie's first entry into Harry Potter. So we're going to be just kind of talking about the movie, asking him what he thinks, see what he thinks about the next 2 films. And hopefully neither Benny nor myself, who both read the books, will spoil anything for anyone else. So if you've never watched them, don't worry about it. We're not going past book episode 6 or whatever. I don't know. Does anyone want to start with like their overall impressions of what they thought? Usually we leave Robbie for last. Do we want to keep that up, or
It's up to the full-blood prince. The
oh,
full-blooded Italian prince. You want to go first or
It's
you want
you,
to go
Ryan.
last?
I can go last.
Okay. Ryan, why don't you lead us off? I feel like I lead off every other one.
all right. Well, you get on base more than I do, so that's why you hit lead off a lot.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. I need protection from you and Robbie, so I get good just to hit. Well, like I just said, I think I don't know if it's my favorite movie, to be honest. We'll talk about, the last 2 over the next couple of weeks. I really, really like this film a lot as a film. I think it is maybe one of the weakest, if not the weakest, adaptations of the books, however, only because there's a lot of Ben's favorite word, exposition, uh, of Voldemort and his past in the book that I would have loved to have seen in this film. But I think I kind of conflated both the book and the movie when I thought about them just as a whole, because I really did enjoy this. This was like as much as it's about Harry and the trio and Dumbledore and, everything going on in Hogwarts, it's a lot about Voldemort, and like his past and all that stuff. I think also, and maybe we'll see what Robbie thinks in his first viewing, but I feel like a lot of stuff, and it's happened before in a couple of our, we've said this before. There's things that, like, if you don't know them from the books, you're like, why, like, why is he the Half-Blood Prince? Or like, why did they do that? These kind of things. And I think there's a number of things in this film that are like that. But having said that, I really enjoy this movie. Oddly, it's the first movie, is this movie was my first entry into Harry Potter completely. I've never seen, this was the first one I watched on like HBO like 10, 15 years ago. So love it, but I think there's a lot to talk about with it. Benny, what about you?
I mean, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I mean, those were the same exact feelings that I had watching this one because I'm kind of watching with that lens of what does Robbie think? What is somebody that's watching this story unfold for the first time? And I thought the same exact thing. But on the same hand, I thought it was fantastic. The movie was great. I mean, great visuals, great, a little bit more of an engaging story, a true kind of like this one ends and you're like, okay, what happens next? Like now, like, this is the first one that you're really like, oh man, I kind of want to. I don't want to put words in Robbie's mouth, but like I want to start the next one right now because like let's go. Like this is it. We know all the chess pieces are in place for the how this story ends. Um, it really made me think back on. I'm a fan of all these movies, and I think that they did a good job adapting them. This watch through has really made me excited for the series if they're going to be truthful to the books and we're going to get it expanded because I don't know. I'm interested to hear what Robbie says because like the death of Dumbledore hits, right? But there's so much Dumbledore Harry stuff in the books, especially this one. There's so much like there's like you mentioned, you get a lot of the Voldemort backstory, which is super important in a movie that he's not even in. Like it's made up for with his past, but within that you also get a lot of Dumbledore Harry stuff because they're having a lot of conversations about what these mean, what's going on and all that stuff. So it's missing all that kind of stuff but again that we have the backstory on. um I don't know. I really enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it. I watched, I did the second watch through because I just needed to put something on during the day today. um Enjoyed it a lot. It just how long can you make the movie? I mean, this is what we're gonna have the series for, and this is what I'm excited for. So, a long way to say that I like it a lot, but that doesn't mean there are missed opportunities here.
Robbie, what
Yeah, I
about
really like this movie. I think this one's my favorite one so far. Again, I don't have the book knowledge, so I don't. I'm coming from a first time view, so I don't know these backstories that you guys talk about. So, I thought it was. I mean, I thought the story was great. Again, I thought last week's was one of the weakest stories I've watched. Um, Not just Harry Potter, but like I guess a few movies recently. So this one was a nice change of pace. I thought 2.5 hours went by fairly quickly. I wasn't really looking at the time and seeing what it was. I enjoyed the story again, like I said, and I like nobody's giving me credit for predicting Dumbledore's death. Please forget about it.
We're gonna
Nobody's
get to
giving me
that.
credit
We're gonna
for
get to
calling Professor Sugar Snaps heel turn. And I did have Ron and Hermione, and then I changed it last week, but I'm still giving myself that too. So 3 for 3. Kudos to me. Smartest guy in the room. And
as
that's
usual.
that. But it's a great movie. It really is. It's my favorite one so far. Maybe you guys can help me out and fill me in on some of the stuff I saw in the movie on young Tom Riddle. So that'd be nice to help me out a little bit. Other than that, I don't really know kind of what you're referencing, Benny, as far as maybe stuff or maybe Ryan mentioned, like stuff like non-book readers didn't pick up, or it's tough to kind of explain if you haven't read the book. So I'd be, you know, I want to hear what that's about as well. But I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was my favorite one, like I said, great story, devastating death. Really a tough one, but necessary for the story to move forward. and I'm excited to see what happens in the next two. A lot of unanswered questions that I don't know what's going to happen, but based on my past expertise, I'm pretty sure I figured it out already.
Yeah, you got it. You don't even need to watch them.
No,
I mean, yeah, I'm glad that you have that feeling because, when I look back at it as a movie, like I said, I thought it was really good. It's just that, oh man, like I want to tell you all these different things about, the whole relationship, for lack of a better word, that Harry has with the book is kind of glossed over in this movie. Like he is in that book 24 hours a day for the whole school year and like builds this relationship and he like feels this connection to who the Half-Blood Prince is and like just that gut shot at the end is, oh, it's Snape and Snape is the one that just killed Dumbledore. By the way, I'm the Half-Blood Prince. It's just like such a whoa moment. So does it still hit in the book? Yeah, but it's kind of like a throwaway line at the end of the movie, like, "Oh, by the way, I'm the Half-Blood Prince," which it still is like, "Oh, wow, I didn't see that coming." But again, it's just built up so much more in the book. So I'm glad that you still feel like all the storylines paid off because that I think was kind of the worry I had for you with this movie was a lot of payoffs, but when I'm looking at it as just the movie, I was like, oh, did they really put in enough work for those to hit hard for Robbie? So I'm glad that you said, the death hit hard and like, it felt like a big moment. Because, I think we had a couple conversations before, like, oh, Dumbledore doesn't talk to Harry until he does the one-on-one at the end of the, right before review is due at the end of the year. So it's just that relationship is so much bigger in the books. I'm glad that the death still kind of, hit hard.
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely did, and um, I forgot to mention how much I love the potions. I'm a big potion guy, so that was cool to see, and I enjoy stuff like that. That's really cool. I wish I got more of it, but it was nice to see. That was fun. Um, they were just laying the foreshadowing down this entire movie with Dumbledore like coming to the end. I just knew something was going to happen. Um, I didn't I didn't think it was going to be Snape. I thought what's his name said was true when he was sitting around with the Order of the Phoenix. I think when they said that he thought that Snape was playing um Ivan Drago, and that he was going to come and turn him around. But like you said, Benny, like when he said I'm the Half-Blood Prince, I was like, okay, cool, he's the Half-Blood Prince. That's awesome. I wasn't going into it thinking like, all right, what the hell's the Half-Blood Prince? It was a nice twist. The twist got me good. Um, I didn't see that coming, and I had I was like, oh, cool, Half-Blood Prince. All right, see you later. See you next movie. And I was ready to go again. But so maybe that's something cool to know and read about in the book because again, like I have no idea what a Half-Blood Prince is anyway.
Yeah. And I don't even think it's like honestly like that important, but like Benny was saying in the books, Harry and this book have like a textual relationship because it's a book, got it? Um and but the fact that it's Snape, who's the Half-Blood Prince, who he's had this relationship with via the book, but also because of Harry's relationship with Professor Snaps outside of that book, just the fact that he, obviously suspects him of something, and then he kills Dumbledore, so he's just like, double fuck you, Snaps.
Yeah.
But
And snaps.
yeah, I mean, honestly, the explanation is his mother's maiden name was Prince, and he's half Muggle, half witch. Like that's the explanation. He gave himself that name. That's it. But just the fact that it was his book is the important part.
Well, and the fact, that you see Prince and you take it as, oh my God, this must have been somebody like super important.
You're right.
And like, so he's built
Fucking
this up in his
snap.
head, like it's going to be, who could this possibly be?
Yeah,
And just that rug pull for him is just, it's rough at the end there.
It's like Kobe Bryant just giving himself the Black Mamba nickname.
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Oh man. All right, before we get too much into some things, let's do some scores and then we'll do some questions. Does anyone want to start with their scores?
Um, I'll go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go high again on this one. I'm gonna go 9.2. It's gonna be tied with what was it? Goblet of Fire for me. I really thought Goblet of Fire, to get off topic a little bit, kind of went up a couple of notches in my book watch after on this watch through. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go 9.2, and it's basically because of the book nerd in me saying, I wish we kind of had some of that stuff. But again, still enjoyed it, still thought it was great. Some just iconic scenes. I mean, I love the scene in the cave. Again, that's another one like in the book, that was one of the ones that seeing that on screen after reading it was like, okay, I love that they did it justice. It's your last badass Dumbledore moment. Um, yeah, great movie. Into it, 9.2.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go pretty high too. I think um besides, some of the stuff missing from the books that we've talked about already, and then we'll probably talk about. I also think, and I'm very curious about what Robbie thinks as a first time watcher and non-book reader, is they just shove Ginny and Harry right in your face, like out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere, to me, at least from my perspective. Whereas in the books, there's definitely more build up and like you can kind of see it coming and whatever. Um, but having said all that, I really do love this film. Maybe it's because of nostalgia, because I saw it first, but 9.3. I like this a lot.
I mean, so much they kind of rush it so much that they had to add scenes that aren't in the book.
Yeah,
Like
like
and that's
pretty
what a lot
subtle.
of people yeah, like a lot of people have issues with this movie, like the people that get crazy with it is because they added scenes that, took away from some of the stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Robbie?
Yeah, it was like I agree. That was rather out of nowhere. I was like, oh, they're in love now. Where did that come from? So that was something that came out of nowhere. I am upset. I'm gonna dock some points. There was no blood drive. Nobody was trying to get that blood, so that really upset me. I was wrong in that prediction. But I'll uh I'll fill out the end number for you guys and I'll go 9.1.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Ah,
I
well,
wonder if too, like the Ginny thing is because she kind of seems so young, like they were kind of weirded out about like maybe dropping hints a little bit earlier.
maybe.
Like this is the first one where she actually kind of looks like a teenager. Maybe, I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, I think that is a very good possibility. And like they cut some stuff just over all the books, but like this one specifically, they cut out like Voldemort's parentage because it's like a little, I don't know, inappropriate for audiences, I guess. Um, so yeah, that's very possible, but they could have maybe made it a little more subtle. The only thing previous to this is you get like a few looks here and there in like some of the other movies in like Order of the Phoenix and stuff. And then all the way back to I think Chamber of Secrets when Harry's at the Weasley's house and she runs in and then he's like, "Hello." And she's just like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's like it, but yeah, whatever. I don't know.
All right, so Robbie, your highest movie by quite a lot,
Yeah,
almost a full point.
love it.
I'm
Okay.
excited to dig a little bit deeper on this one.
Okay.
Robbie, do you remember because yes, you had the half blood and the blood drive, but there was also something else you kind of threw in there. And I remember listening to I got to go back and listen to it again if you don't remember, but I remember when you were talking about your prediction. There was something in there that I was like he actually kind of like he got
Oh,
something there.
Back
the blood with the in the cave, maybe? I said someone needs to
No,
get
no,
blood.
it was something
like go
that
back
kind
in
of
time.
like
That part.
something that maybe yeah, because maybe the book, but it was something that kind of referenced Snape, I think, a little bit, and I was like, ooh, yeah, I was trying so hard not to blow my poker face after you said that I ruined it with Dumbledore.
Oh, well, you blew it. You blew it for me.
Yeah. I think it was something about, yeah, I was listening to the show last week and I was like, oh, yeah, I forget exactly what you said, but I was like, that could be insinuated to think like something's gonna happen with him.
Yeah.
Whatever. Before we get into actually talking about this, do you guys remember one of the earlier YouTube videos that I think went pretty viral, where that guy was driving around spoiling this book, for all the people waiting online at like Barnes
Oh,
and
that's
Noble? Do you
horrible.
remember that?
You want to hear
No.
something? I don't remember that, but do you want to hear? Do you want? Are you done? Let me say that
I know,
first.
basically, I was just saying, I love that video because he's just driving around in his mom's minivan yelling, "Snape kills Dumbledore," and people are just like,
Uh,
So
horrible.
I this was when this book came out. This is when I started reading,
Okay.
and I was talking to somebody who was a big Harry Potter fan, and somebody posted a screenshot of that online, and
Uh-huh.
I sent it to the person that I was talking to, like being a dick. And
Oh,
when I caught up in the books, I texted that person. I was like, I'm so fucking sorry that I did that to you. Like, I really don't know what came over me, but I like just caught up and I was like, if there's anything in the future you want to spoil me on, please, like you have the go ahead. I felt
come
like
on.
such a dick. And I'm hoping, like, I'm kind of out of touch with this person now, but I'm hoping like in 10 years or something, like there's out of nowhere, they just drop in and spoil something huge for me. I'd be like, fucking well played. Well
Yeah,
played.
yeah, yeah. Like if we ever get Winds of Winter or
Oh my God,
Spring or something,
perfect.
and he just like goes to the end, is like, oh, Daenerys dies. Big deal.
Yeah.
Stupid. If you're listening, person, you should definitely spoil Benny, because that'd
yeah,
be
that's messed up. As if you listen, we're sorry, but sorry.
yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. I was definitely like, oh, Harry Potter's stupid. Why you stupid people reading this stupid stuff?
I know.
Here I am, fucking
I think we
15
were
years later,
we were
talking.
definitely all of us in that age range where like yeah, like when it was super popular, it was a little young for us, but we weren't old enough to like appreciate things just because we had to be like cool and like not like kid stuff or whatever. And then I was like 30 and like, yeah, I'm a fucking child, man child, why not?
Yeah.
Um, all right. Where should we begin?
Well, let's get some of the
Begin at the
low
end?
hanging. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
go
kind of.
hanging.
I have a. We could bounce off this. So, I mean, Robbie, this is probably the easiest question you're gonna get all day. What's the terror level
Yeah.
on snaps at this point? I mean, I feel like it's an obvious answer, but we got to ask.
Oh, it's red. There's reports that there are threats imminent in all major cities right now.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, all in New York, LA, Texas, Florida,
DC
who cares?
everywhere.
DC, Seattle, San Francisco, we're all over the place. Watch out, look out, watch out, watch out, look out, as some would say.
It's not like that like bright red, it's like that crimson red. It's
Yeah, it's top of the pops. It's top of the
yeah.
pops. It's bursting out like a thermometer. Um, yeah, I don't know why people tell me that Snape's is their favorite. I don't get that.
It's probably a book thing. I mean, like I said, just how fleshed out the character is and the more interaction. I think Ryan mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Like, you kind of don't realize how little he's in the movies.
That's what I'm saying. He was like he doesn't have in every movie he has like zero, like maybe like 2 minutes of speaking parts all combined. And I'm like, this is it. But when he went flippy dippy and then that was it, I was like, oh, Snapes. I was like, Snapes. I can't believe it.
How did you kind of think that whole scene was going to play out from the time Harry goes under kind of the floor there?
Oh, I thought he was going to kind of do a tricksy and save um Dumbledore and kill everybody else. I really didn't think he was going to kill him, but again, like I don't know. Maybe he was too trustworthy of me to believe that because he really didn't. He was very like monotone the entire time. He really didn't do anything crazy like this entire series where you would suspect that. But yeah, I guess that's what made it more hurtful is because while he was kind of a dick on screen, I didn't expect him to do this.
Did that scene, that little kind of flashback to his earlier days with Harry's dad, did that kind of like make you feel like, oh, I think I kind of see what his motivation is and where he's headed? Was that illuminating for you?
No, it wasn't really. I really didn't think of that at all. I just thought that it was something like that's why he was just a dick to Harry. I didn't think he would get revenge to try and, really go super duper deep. But I guess somebody that's felt like he was bullied like that and grew up like that and wanted to get revenge, that's what they're going to do. But I didn't put two and two together with that. It did surprise me in the beginning of this movie when they did do that little spell with him and I think what Draco's mom.
Yeah, the
So I,
unbreakable
I was
vow.
like, what? Yeah, I was like, what's this about? But then I was like, don't tell me Snape's going to do something crazy. Um, but yeah, no, I didn't put any two and two together with that little flashback scene with Harry's dad bullying him.
Ryan, any questions about kind of the
No,
end here?
I mean, I I was waiting for this to happen to see what Robbie was going to think, and I mean, it's yeah, the like you said, the thermometer is bursting like an old Tom and Jerry cartoon. Just um, what did you think of like the death scene itself? Because like it's obviously pretty impactful, but I just always find it to be like just that and also like the scene immediately after where everyone's around, they got the wands up and everything. I don't know, I just really love it. It's very beautiful. The music is I don't know what the word is that I want because it's not chilling, but it gives
Haunting,
me like goosebumps. What was that?
haunting,
Kind of haunting.
ominous, not ominous, but I
No,
know what you
like
mean.
beautiful, but yeah, but sad at the same time. Um, so I don't know if you had any thoughts on that at all, but I just really like that scene a lot.
No, that was very emotional. I mean, I didn't, there was no tears shed, but it was very emotional. I agree with you. I thought the song choice was beautiful. I mean, him plummeting. I really didn't believe that he was going to die. I mean, he's Dumbledore. He's the King of Kings. Spells of spells. So I figured that he was going to do something, whip something up, and be able to come back from it. But I guess not. I guess that little thing is super duper powerful that Snaps did to him. So him falling was tough. That was a tough one. Um, no more Gambon, so that hurts my feelings. But yeah, it was tough. The wands up. I thought they were doing some kind of potion to bring him back to life, but the wands up was cool. I enjoyed that. The music was great. And you know, Harry getting pissed and going after snaps was fun too as well. So yeah, no, it was done. It was done very nice, very touching for a fantastic character. So
Yeah, oh, that's good. Um, what do you think? We're kind of getting ahead to predictions, but I'm just curious because I'm sure I would be thinking this way, but like, what do you think about what Snaps is up to now? Like, like, is he like going back to Valdi, or like, what do you think his plans are if he has any?
part of the plans probably break what's his name out of jail, Mr. Malfoy, um, and do that, and then go back to Voldemort and team up and try to put their heads together like a little war room, figure out who they're going to draft, how we're going to, what's the strategy looking like, what do we need on the team, what do we don't need, what's the best fit. So I think they're going to try and team up and go get Harry. I don't really know any other way of what he would be doing at the moment. So
Got
So
that.
let's kind of, I
Yeah.
feel like
nice
we're
catch.
we're we're working our way. You're like, what's the seeker, the keeper who catches the fly?
Oh, Cormac. I think
Yeah.
I like my chances.
Um, a step forward, but also kind of step back here. We'll kind of work our way backwards in this one because a lot of, obviously all the impactful stuff happens at the end. But talk to me a little bit about Horcruxes. I mean, I feel like they did a pretty good job explaining what it is in a very short amount of time. Um, any questions about it? Do you kind of understand? Do you like think back to maybe some of the earlier movies and kind of do some things make sense with Voldemort? I know we're going back like literally 18 hours worth of video here, but like talk to me about how you felt about the Horcrux reveal And what do you think that kind of means going forward?
I don't know. It's kind of depending on you guys to help me out with that because I didn't really, I got it, but I didn't really super duper understand like what the whole thing is.
So essentially, this is why Voldemort doesn't die in the beginning, like why he's still alive after whatever happens with Harry is because he split his soul and hid it. And that was this main memory that they're trying to get from Slughorn. I don't think they know exactly what it is, but it sheds light as to kind of okay, there's more to this than what's going on, and it explains a lot of things. Um, so essentially, you murder someone, you perform a some type of ritual, and you can conceal a piece of your soul in an object so that you're protected in case that you die. Um, I don't think it's a piece of magic that a lot of people are familiar with, and if you have heard about it, like you do it once, and Tom Riddle wanted to do it 7 times, and you kind of get that reaction from Slughorn, like dude, what? Like, so
Yeah.
like says you want to split your soul 7 times? Like, that's fucking weird. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's why in the beginning of the books, he's kind of like that weird little thing. He like there's a piece of his soul that he's going around and kind of possessing things to kind of keep like a body. I don't want to go further than that with that last thing that I said because there's some stuff to come. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. You're protecting yourself from dying by breaking off of your piece of your soul and hiding it in an object
Also, maybe Harry's hiding his object in Dumbledore.
inside of Dumbledore,
Well,
like Harry's
maybe,
object.
yeah, maybe what he took, his soul is in something that Dumbledore died and put a little piece of the puzzle.
Could be,
Maybe an earring.
could be. Maybe
Maybe
it's
that heart.
yeah, maybe it's inside a fox.
Maybe.
That was sad too.
Oh,
Seeing the bird fly away.
yeah.
Stuff.
Um, Benny, if you had to create a Horcrux for yourself, what object would you choose to put a piece of your soul?
I feel like, I mean, do you go obvious, right? Like, is it a baseball?
Yeah.
Is it a PlayStation remote? Like, or do you got to go something like just something out there so
And
nobody can ever find your soul? So, like, would I put it in? I don't know, like a Backstreet Boys poster or something like that. I feel like at the end of the day, it'd probably just be like a Met hat or something like that.
Robbie, what about you? Any ideas?
I don't know. I don't know what it would be put in. It's tough. Maybe a golf ball, probably. Probably a golf ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
choice.
So somebody can fucking smash me far away and drive me into the moon.
Hopefully, I end up in the drink.
Yeah. Let me fall to
Uh,
the bottom, please.
yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends on if you want uh, to live forever or just who cares. I feel
Or
like,
maybe an iron.
okay,
I do love a good iron.
good choice. Might get more power on your, fairway drives.
It's true.
Who knows? Um,
Who knows?
who knows? Um, well, Benny, did you have anything else with Horcruxes for now?
No, just kind of, I was just kind of, I
Yeah.
wanted to take Robbie's
No,
temperature on
that's
that and see what he
important to
thought.
know, like what they are. Like, because I feel like I was confused at first.
Yeah, real quick. Does the diary make more sense now from the second book? Like he stabs the diary with the basilisk tooth at the end, and that's how he kills Tom Riddle. Does that make more sense to you now? Does
No,
you're not even remembering it at this point?
I don't remember that.
Yeah. So when he sees Tom Riddle at the end of the second one, he's like the young kid that like is in control of the basilisk. The way he kills him is he stabs the diary with the basilisk tooth and like the spurts out like black stuff and he disintegrates into the air like I don't know, I don't got anything good for it, but yeah, that's your first um hint of a Horcrux, and it doesn't even get explained properly until here we are, 6 books later.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. There's so much information blowing through my head that I totally forgot. I just forgot about even trying to get book two out of my memory. Too long.
No, honestly, I felt like before I read the books and I just watched the movies, that there was a number of things that I was always just kind of like unclear on. Like I was just like, all right, I think I get it, but there's a lot. There's a lot in there.
I mean, the the novelist who must not be named on this show did a pretty good job of like laying stuff out like early on that bore fruit, even though she fucking sucks, but whatever.
Yeah, I gotta do. Mold killed the brain. Um, so I would say, I mean, I think we kind of talked about it quick, but I want to ask it formally anyway. Um, where are we at with the love triangle? So clearly, Harry and Ginny are, I guess, an item of some kind. You did mention that you were correct. We'll give you credit for that, full credit on
Thank you.
that.
Almost.
But where do you think then are Ron and Hermione going to get together for sure? Or where's your head at with them?
I don't know. It's tough because Harry's little thing at the end kind of was like, wait a sec, maybe there's something there with them too. When he's said that, I guess I forgot what he said. You're both pretty perfect, I guess. And then they had a little hand squeeze, or maybe that's just friends being friends. Um,
They both have
so
nice skin. Remember that.
that's true. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with what I got. I'm gonna stick with Ron and Hermione doing their own little thing, getting together, staying together. And yeah, I'll stick with Harry and Ron's sister sticking together.
I
Now,
mean,
go ahead.
how could you say no to Ron? Was looking jacked in this movie. How you gonna say no to Ron? I mean, he looked like he hit the weights in
He might
the
have
over the summer.
little potion, little steroid potion.
Um, so similar question, but different. Okay, that's your prediction. But what do you want to happen? Do you want Harry and Hermione to get together, or
Of
you
course.
want Ron and Hermione? Okay.
Nah, nah. No. I want Harry and Hermione to get together. They got more chemistry together. It's just palpable on screen. You can feel it. You can right in my bones. I feel it when I see those two on screen together. The love they share without even knowing it. So yeah. Uh I want Harry and Hermione to get together. Ron can go somewhere else. He can go to his twin brother's magic shop.
So kind of working backwards a little bit more, we get introduced to Professor Slughorn in this movie. Tell me your thoughts on Professor Slughorn, because I think I gained a new appreciation for him in this one. Go ahead, you go.
I like slugs. I didn't trust him at first. I didn't know what his thing was about when he was like making the potion to cure Ron's love hangover. I thought he was like trying to poison him. He did kind of poison him without knowing it. Um, but no, I feel like he redeemed himself. I did feel bad for him. I feel like he's been through a lot. But I mean, please, what an introduction to come out of the sofa. Who doesn't want to be stuck in the sofa like that? Please, I wish. Um, but no, I loved Harry's little way to kind of get him to kind of break. Um, that was cool. I like that about Harry. That was nice. But I really respected him. I felt bad for him, and it was a nice old man, I guess.
I love how Dumbledore, like, clearly he's like tiptoeing or like trying to like reverse psychology him into like coming back to Hogwarts and giving him information. He's like, Harry, I need your help with this, man. It's hard. And Harry's like, yo, bro, what the fuck do you do with Voldemort, man? Like, yo, seriously. Like, I know it's bothering you, but yo, tell me about, like, he's just so, like, he's so bad at it.
Not subtle at all.
Yeah.
That only works on coffee shop waitresses. That
Yeah.
doesn't work on old professors.
And like, he gets a second chance at it, and he's still like, yeah, is that what you told Tom Riddle?
Yeah.
No, tell me more. What'd he say? What'd he say?
What'd you say? I find it a little combining Dumbledore and Slughorn. I find it a little perplexing that Dumbledore couldn't work out that these were Horcruxes without having Slughorn confirm it. Like Dumbledore's supposed to be the one of if not the best wizard in all of the wizarding world at this time. Like he doesn't know about Horcruxes. He had the diary, he had the ring. We saw that. So like I think yeah, it's great to get that additional detail, like confirmation that he told him that, and then the whole idea about seven of them, fantastic. But like Dumbledore acting like this is, I think he says this is essential, like this is the most important memory ever, and it's like I don't know,
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that maybe if it's about potions, maybe Slughorn knows things that Dumbledore doesn't know. But for like, Dumbledore was an auror, I think, at one point before he became a professor. So like dark magic is like, this is your lane, Dumbledore. Like, how do you not know about that? Especially the fact like Harry's like, yo, I stabbed this thing and it
black
went
stuff.
away. Yeah, like don't you I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was like, but is it maybe the fact, like you said, is it the seven thing that freaked him out? But it did kind of seem like he was surprised that they were Horcruxes, even though he was like hunting these items down.
Right.
Like, what are you looking for then? Like just his trinkets
Yeah. For
for no
fun.
reason, and you're like wearing the ring, and you got like
Your
your
hand
whole shit
black.
is black.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know. Whatever. Um, Sticking with Dumbledore really quick because there's one thing I want to mention too is I love the cave scene and how he just went bananas with the whatever the fire spell is, I forget. But like I wish we saw more of that. Like just generally. And that kind of goes back to what I've said a few times throughout all of these is like I don't know, could be CGI budgets, could be however it was written, whatever. But like it just seems like sometimes they do magic and sometimes they just choose not to. Like, why are you running in the field? Like, do a spell. Like, why are you watching your house burn? Do a spell. Like, I don't know. I just, go ahead.
that was the one thing for me. Again, like I try to find ways to explain things like to myself. And I'm like, oh well, because it's a magical fire, you can't just like
Yeah.
put that
Just
out.
put it out.
But then like, okay, but your house burned down. Like you clearly seen things be like broken apart, and then there's just like, and just everything goes back to the way it was in like 2 seconds.
Right.
Or like you could just build a new house
Yeah.
that's like not the Leaning Tower of Wizards, and
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. So
Like,
like, go
Dumbledore
ahead.
fixes that house that Slughorn's in is like 4 seconds. You telling me you can't just like rebuild the burrow in a minute? Like, I don't know. Whatever.
Hey, we suspend our disbelief here.
Yeah, no, I still like it. It's just I'm being nitpicky.
But again, that's a scene that they added, and again, it's
Yeah,
not surprisingly something that people nitpick, probably for those reasons, because it's like the Game of Thrones stuff. Like when you have to start telling the story, all of a sudden you're like, dude, why did you add that in? Or that doesn't really make sense in in the grand scheme of things. So
yeah. I read that they
sometimes,
did that to instead of because in the book it's more about like they keep hearing about other wizards being attacked and like all these things. So like, you know, if that's happening often enough throughout the book, like you're like, oh shit, it's really bad out there. It's like when, how everyone keeps saying like the city is so dangerous now. It's like you keep hearing it's like, ah, it must gotta be true.
yeah,
This would served as just like so things are
this is what's happening. Yeah.
right. Same with like the bridge scene, which I don't like that scene, but whatever.
Robbie, any thoughts kind of about any of the stuff that we talked about, or any questions about other things that you want to clarified or didn't, or we haven't talked about yet?
I just want to know the flashback scenes with Slugs and Tom Riddle. Like that doesn't I don't know if I was snoozing, but it didn't really I don't want to say it makes sense, but it was just something that I was like, what the hell's going on here?
It's really just kind of establishing the fact that Tom Riddle was one of Slughorn's like prized possessions, and they were close to each other. And then the second one was him trying to cover his tracks because obviously he has all this guilt with talking to Tom about Horcruxes, and he just tried to kind of cover that up. Um, yeah, am I missing anything that you might have more questions on?
No, that was really it. What was he, I guess, touching it? Was he touching something? Like, I think that maybe it was the last flashback with young Tom. Like, he was like touching, something was like on him and he was like touching it, fiddling with
Oh,
it.
the only thing I saw off the top of my head I remember fiddling with is the ring that Dumbledore ends up getting. Are you talking about
Maybe
Slughorn
that's the
or
thing.
Tom Riddle?
I'm talking about Tom Riddle at the end. I think doesn't something happen like where it goes green? Something happens in I don't know, but it was maybe it was
Oh,
the
it,
ring he
it
was
like
touching.
got like fuzzy and like you couldn't hear the audio, that part.
I think so. It was like the last flashback between them. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it was the ring, but that ring was anything about that ring. Maybe I forgot.
I don't think it spoils anything. It's just his mother's ring.
No.
He ends up making it a Horcrux.
Yeah. And Dumbledore, I don't know if you really noticed it, but you saw Dumbledore's hand was all black and like Snape was checking it out at one point. So like I'm gonna stop talking. First sort of spoiler of the whole thing.
Not really, because he
Really?
saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
I
saw
was
saw
it.
it.
gonna ask why is his hand like that, but I guess that's not.
We'll find
Okay.
out.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, tune in next week. Shit. It
No
wasn't that
spoiler.
bad, but still, I don't like
I have
spoilers.
no idea what's going on anywhere, so I'm
Yeah.
not spoiled or anything.
All right, good. Good. Um,
Well, oh, I guess why did they want to throw hide the book, hide the potion book?
yeah, I think in the book, like Benny said before, he's like again very attached
Obsessed.
to it. He's nonstop knows in the book. I think the way they did in the movie was kind of just like weird. Like that's another thing. Okay, so we're gonna hide it so no one finds it. Fucking burn it with your wands or like something. Throw it in the fireplace. Like why do we
Yeah.
have to hide it? Like I didn't get that, but they were trying to save Harry from himself to a certain extent because he was obsessed with the book. They don't show that great in the movie.
Yeah, they really don't. I was like, why did they put so much onus on getting rid of this book?
Maybe it was
Oh
an
well,
excuse to get him and Ginny together.
maybe you missed this because that's where he got. Well, obviously he says it at the end, but he gets that spell that
Second
messes up
Emperor.
Malfoy and like slices Malfoy up. Like that's where he found that spell was in that book because it was like I guess a spell that Snape created.
Yeah. That's when he says at the end, use your using my own spells against me. Whatever. Trying to think what else.
I can't hear Robbie.
Oh, I think I hit. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, I hit the mute button.
Okay.
The the chest thingy, the box thingy.
Vanishing cabinet.
Yeah, like that's how they those people came in. Like, so he wasn't. Could he go in it and go somewhere else? Right? Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yes.
basically to that store. It was like a passageway.
Those two were linked.
Ah, yes. Okay, I got it. I thought he was like can go like anywhere and everywhere.
I think some of them you can. Like that's kind of what Ron's dad said was that you could just go disappear for like a little bit.
Did
Yeah,
you?
I don't know if they had so, and he even says like some of them are kind of finicky or whatever word he uses, but it was basically just a way to hide from, you know, Voldemort and his crew of flunkies. But apparently
Yeah,
the one created the passageway, or these
I
two.
guess I guess what annoys me is that I think so, I forgot who said it. Maybe Benny said it, but like that, like you don't get a lot of Dumbledore in the earlier books. I feel like you get a little here and there, a couple of funny one-liners, but like you got more in the last book. You know that massive fight with Voldemort. And that's a clue that he was going to die because now you get more of this character. So I don't know, but it still had a lot of affect the death. It was shocking, but like you guys said, it would be nice to see more backstory with the series and see where they go with that.
Yeah, would be nice.
I gotta get a potion that makes me stop burping. I gotta do a potion with that. I don't know. Goodness.
I think it's called Gas X.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think as much as this film is like there's a lot in it, I mean, I can't think of any like major plot points or anything to discuss. I feel like we hit
Not really. It all builds to,
Yeah.
that last 45 minutes or so.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, Robbie, any other questions, things that were concerning or funny or anything like that?
Oh, I asked all of them that I needed to ask, except for the Black Hand. Um, yeah, I don't know where it's headed. I don't know what's happening, but this one was one that really was nicely paced. My sister asked me what was my favorite scene. I said I really can't tell you a favorite scene. I think the whole movie was great. I really couldn't think back to a favorite scene. Um, so I'm excited to see what uh Ron and Hermione bring in the last two, if they're involved with doing any kind of chicanery, some stuff like that. Because I don't really see Ron doing that much. So I like to see Ron, you know, take his big boy pants and put them on and do something. So I'm excited to see what the three of them do and who haps along for the ride and who is the initials on that locket.
That's what I wanted to ask. Yeah, any early contenders for who RAB is?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Is it a nice shock?
I know.
You guys fucking stink.
All
I
right,
don't know.
so we have. Go ahead.
I really don't. I was trying to think. Was trying to think what those initials could be, but Rufus A. Dumbledore back, his brother, is his
Bumbledore.
brother. I don't know. I don't know, but
All right.
I'm excited to find out.
So we've got our terrorism level already. We've done that. We've done the love triangle predictions. We don't have a prediction on RAB yet. Uh, the next movie is called Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Robbie,
Part one.
part one. What what is this movie about?
I think this movie is about this. The first part is they have to find a way to kill the ghost stompers. What are those guys? What are they called?
Death Eaters?
The Death Eaters. Figure out a way to get rid of the Death Eaters so he can get closer to Voldemort and just be a one-on-one between the both of them. I don't think Snaps is going to die in this movie. I think he's going to die in the second one, or maybe this one. Maybe he dies at the end of this one. But I think that has to do mostly with them going on an adventure, them finding out who um, Final Day Bivens is, and figure that out and see what that is. Hope we find out who that is. Um, I don't think Ron and Hermione are going to die. I do think Snaps is going to die in this one, but I think he's got to kill these shapeshifters to kind of maybe weaken Voldemort's Voldemort's power. Um, if that doesn't happen, then Harry just decides to retire and uh, you know, be the groundskeeper at the Deathly Hallows Cemetery, where he just roams the halls and roams the fields and just kind of, cleans up the shrubbery.
Okay. So the Deathly Hallows is a cemetery.
Yeah, the name of the cemetery, Deathly Hallows Cemetery. It's where Harry's mom and dad are buried. It's where Dumbledore's buried now in his one of those big, solariums, whatever you call them.
Mausoleums.
Yeah, mausoleums. And so they're all there, and Harry is just the owner of the grounds, takes care of everything, and he lives a simple life. Some mead, maybe some butterbeer, maybe some butter beans, and that's really it.
All right. I love it. I mean, again, spot on. I
Yeah,
hate to spoil it for you, but you may not
don't
even need
even
to
have
watch
to
the next
watch
one.
them. Yeah,
No,
that's it.
that's it. Done.
Yeah,
Thank goodness.
let's pick something else. Oh man. Um, I'm curious how it's gonna go, like splitting them. If you're gonna be like amped up to watch the second one, or how, I don't know. I'm just very curious.
I know we're not going to answer this, but I forget how this first one ends because I feel like these two I always just watch
Together.
back to back. So I'm a little, I don't want to say concerned, but I'm feeling it might be a little bit of letdown for Robbie where this next one ends.
Oh my goodness. Like 2.5 hours and nothing. Please kill me now.
I mean, obviously we're moving, babe. We're at the end. I mean, it's this 2 hours is going to be way better than the first four of the series. So no, the baseline is at least there,
Who would
and
have
more
thought?
stuff happens than in the Order of the Phoenix. So
Yes.
Oh,
worst case scenario, it's your fourth
Third
favorite movie. Yeah,
all right.
Third
That's good.
worst. Third
yeah.
least favorite. Yeah. We'll see. Um, I feel like, I don't know. That went really fast, and I feel like we didn't talk about anything, but we really did.
Rest in peace to the god, the goat,
Still
Big
sad.
D. Still
Again,
hurts.
one more time. Imagine if Richard Harris was doing all that shit. Come on. I mean,
Would have
no
been terrible.
disrespect, but come on.
It would
Yeah.
have been terrible.
Yeah, it's
Well, I
fantastic.
wanted to ask you guys, what's your guys' predictions for the last two movies?
Um, I think Voldemort sees the error of his ways.
Yes.
He
He's a therapist.
retires. He says, "You know what? Florida sounds nice right about now," and he gets some golf lessons, and that's it. That's it for him.
Voldemort. I bet Voldemort's a
Was a
heavy
golf
hitter.
pro.
Shitty on the
Nice.
short game, heavy hitter.
Yeah, I
Does he need whatchamacallit? Does he need heavy sunscreen now?
Oh yeah. Big sun hat.
Oh, good.
he's been in England for so long. I mean, I can only imagine what happens when he gets in that Florida sun.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
please, I hope that pollen doesn't destroy his nose.
Yeah. He doesn't have any nose hair to like block it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. He's gonna hate it. Gonna go back to killing.
Yeah. Yeah. He sees the error of his ways. He retires to Florida. 6 months later, he's back to killing.
He can't stop.
Won't stop. All right. Well, I don't know. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, some of you send us some messages, some emails. Again, don't spoil anything for our good friend Robbie. Um, anything else, boys?
Here we go.
Here we go. Deathly Hollows. We're going to a cemetery. All right.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. My favorite place to be.
One of the best. We're all gonna be there one day,
It's true.
potentially.
Yeah. Like I always say, just throw me in the trash.
Yeah. Meet me out in the backyard.
Guess. Well, we appreciate you sticking around and your support. We love you. Robbie, tell him good night.
Oh, please, good night to Dumbledore. Rest in peace.
And I would be remiss. I mean, we made it this whole episode for me not to say farewell, Aragog, king of the arachnids. Your body will decay, but your spirit lingers on, and your human friends find solace, the loss they sustained.
I love that scene. Aragog. And then Harry with the
the pizzas. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Felix.
nah. Apparently he was drunk on this film. And he said he
Really?
could tell when he was drunk, yeah.
Wow.
Who?
Harry. Daniel Radcliffe said after the fact, he's like, this is like one of his least favorite performances, and he said he can tell when he's been drinking, like when he watches himself.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a booze problem for a little bit.
Jesus, Harry.
Listen, if your parents died and you had a maniac chasing you, you'd probably drink too.
That's true. That is true.
I said, no, Gabriel, leave. I said, no.
All right, see you next week.
Boy watch.
First ever epilogue.
Let the
Yeah.
boy watch. He needs to learn the way I learned from my father, the way he learned from his father. Let